Now the confirmation bias is a heuristic. Before we go any further, I'm going to have to define what a heuristic is. A heuristic is a mental shortcut we use to make decisions. However, they aren't foolproof. For example, if we were asked to pick out from a group of people the person who weighed the most, we would probably choose the largest person there. However, that person could just be wearing an awful lot of coats, or something like that, and they might not actually weigh the most at all. Now back to the confirmation bias. The confirmation bias is the tendency for people to seek out information that confirms past ideas or belief. Well, how could that go wrong? Let's think of an example. Based on the information I just gave you, you probably thought I was reading the definition of confirmation bias aloud from this notebook. However, I wasn't. I was just looking at this nice picture of a cat. Consider yourself punked. There's one example of how the confirmation bias could lead us astray in our decision making. Now I find that the best way to explain new concepts is to apply them to real-world situations. So, what I did was looked online at recent news. Let's talk about a little happening between the US and Iran. Recently on Iranian television, footage was aired of an American reconnaissance drone that had allegedly been shot down. The Iranians described the drone as a very advanced piece of technology, as they seemingly inspect it. The drone is not fitted to use weaponry, but instead use a camera to keep an eye on Iran's current nuclear program. So what I'd like to do is examine a scenario in which faulty confirmation bias is causing either country to make all the wrong assumptions, and what consequences these assumptions could have. Let's start with why America is spying on Iran. The belief is that Iran is trying to develop a nuclear weapons program, so that is what we are collecting information for. However, if the confirmation bias is in effect, it may be causing the CIA to ignore evidence to the contrary, evidence proving that Iran is using nuclear energy as just that, energy, and nothing more. This could lead to misinterpretation of gathered information and an invasion of Iran as a result of suspected possession of weapons of mass destruction. Now this is just an exercise to explain the confirmation bias. I am in no way suggesting this will actually happen. And what about Iran? If they are creating nuclear weapons, was the confirmation bias part of this controversial decision? For example, their belief could be that lots of countries have nuclear weapons, so the world is a dangerous place, and their information could be that lots of countries have nuclear weapons, like I said. However, they're rejecting a lot of information, such as many countries are diminishing their arsenals, and other countries are refusing to start because nuclear weapons have been banned. Well, that's the confirmation bias for you. Sometimes people will only accept information that confirms a prior belief or idea.